This is an excerpt from Song of Sovereign by Michael L. Harris. Tony's theme. The text lands while I'm staring into a rocks glass that won't stop sweating. Chicago, October 2013. One of those trade shows where men in suits gather under fluorescent lights, discussing jars, lids, and shrink sleeves with the seriousness usually reserved for politics. My company had sent me, the packaging guy. By the final day, as the conference wound down early, I drifted back to the hotel carrying a marriage that was already unraveling in my chest. I knew before I boarded the flight. Vanessa, my second wife, had already said the word, divorce, or something close enough to it. She had cracked the door, and I spent the week standing there, waiting for her to either slam it shut or let me back in. It was around 3 p.m. when I found myself in the Embassy Suites River North lobby bar. Sunlight spilled through the tall windows. The place lived in that steady weekday rhythm, half business, half leisure. The hour when one conversation fades and another begins before the air has time to settle. I claimed a stool like it was exile. Around me, the world moved in loops. Drinks started and finished. Tabs signed. Chairs filled. Laughter rose and broke like waves. Some people talked shop. Some flirted. Some stared into their phones. The television above the bar cycled the same ESPN highlights. A dunk. A touchdown. A replay. A score crawl. All of it looping, like time itself had grown bored. Outside, the light dulled. Inside, the hum never stopped. And through all of it, I stayed still, motionless in my own gravity, as if the room were caught in time lapse and I was the single frame refusing to move. At some point, I slipped on my headphones and pressed play. Scarface, Tony's theme. I looped it again and again until it stopped being music and became atmosphere. A low-frequency pressure tunneling through my ribs. The song told me what words couldn't. I was at the end of something. The end of a marriage, yes, but also the end of the man I thought I was. As the song swelled, something in me followed. My eyes burned. That familiar pressure gathered behind them. I stared harder into the glass, willing it away. The tears came anyway, quiet, uninvited. I couldn't let them fall, not there, not in the lobby bar at 3 p.m. I reached for a napkin and wiped, quickly, casually, like I was clearing condensation. Then another. I kept my head angled down, shoulders still. The bartender didn't look twice. No one did. The room kept moving, and I sat there, holding my face together by force of will, letting the music carry what I couldn't afford to show. That same week, another door cracked open. A job offer. Houston. Better pay. Closer to family. A lifeline thrown into the storm. The timing felt uncanny, almost cosmic. A deus ex machina I didn't quite trust, but couldn't ignore. As if some unseen hand had decided to edit the scene, daring me to walk away clean, to bury the wreckage in Philadelphia and start over. But I didn't want Houston. I didn't want a new job. I wanted my wife to answer the phone, to tell me to come home, to say we could fix this. Instead, after a day of silence, my phone buzzed. A small vibration that cut through the low murmur of the bar. I looked down. The screen lit blue across my knuckles. I'm filing. 2 words. No cushioning. No preface. Just finality. The ice shifted in my glass like it heard something break. I read the text again, as if repetition might grant reprieve. It didn't. It was devastating in its simplicity. My second failed marriage in 5 years. My second time believing in forever and watching it turn to smoke. I carried a script for how life was supposed to unfold. Married at 25, first kid by 27, second by 30. The same rhythm my parents had lived. The suburban gospel preached through sitcoms, love songs, and romantic comedies. Play by the rules, earn permanence. That night proved it. Santa Claus doesn't exist. The Easter Bunny doesn't exist. Soulmates don't exist. Something in me shifted, not explosively, but tectonically. I felt it under the skin, the grief, the disbelief, the humiliation, all of it folding inward toward a single point, a pressure where nothing escaped unchanged. The optimistic, romantic version of me was dying in that chair. Not dramatically, quietly, without ceremony. I could feel him giving way, and whoever took his place didn't feel like a stranger. He didn't feel cruel, he felt inevitable. Not hopeful, not gentle, just dense enough to hold. I sat there, harnessing anger like oxygen, bitterness like armor, sadness like a weapon I kept hidden. It didn't guide me well, but it kept me upright. For a while, that was enough. When I finally closed my tab and stumbled upstairs, it felt like stepping into a new life by accident. One chapter gone, another unwritten. I called my mother first, then my brother, then the friends who had seen it coming. Each time I said the words, they felt more real. I was moving to Houston. It was over. Because it had to be. But inside, I knew the truth. It wasn't just a marriage that ended in that hotel bar. It was an era. An entire version of me died in that chair. Scarface looping through borrowed headphones, bourbon sweating down the glass, 2 words burning on my phone screen. I'm filing. The fracture had begun. You've been listening to a short excerpt from Song of Sovereign by Michael L. Harris, coming to bookshelves in 2026.